All right, welcome to Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. This is the track walk for the Rev Group Grand Prix, the weekend of June 20th through 23rd, 2019. Got some Chevrolet and WeatherTech signage over there. We have the start-finish line right here, and the pits are over here to our right. Behind us is the main straight, and we will be taking a few breaks during the filming of this, so you don't have that long of a video. This is the longest track IndyCar race is on. I think it's 4.048 miles in length. Yeah, the fuel's gonna be critical here, y'all. It always has been for years. So this race was first run on the IndyCar schedule in the open wheel earlier days in 1982 as part of the kart championship back then. Hector Rabake won that race. It was run from 82 through like sometime in the early mid 2000s. It took a couple of years off. I think it wasn't running like 04 and 05, I think it was. And then it came on for like 06 and 07. And then from 2008 through 2015, it was not run. And then 2016, the race came back. It's been back ever since, and it's been a big hit with the fans. And with the drivers and everybody else, because a lot of people have been asking about this track coming back. So you see, you got all the pits going on right here. Everybody's setting themselves up. This is Thursday, and I'm going to take a short hiatus here in a little bit. I'm going to pick it up right when we get to turn number 1. So we're going to resume just a little bit here. All right, here we have the pit exit line right here, where the drivers come off of the pit road speed limiter at that white line. And here we have the lane that the drivers go through before getting to turn number 1. So turn 1 is a bit of an interesting area because, well, for a long time during the kart era, it was almost hesitant to say traditional that you would have maybe one person have an issue, but you know, it's at the first lap on turn 1, but hasn't always been the case, but it has produced some interesting results, especially during the 90s. I know it wasn't the first lap, but late in the 1990 race, AJ Foyt had his massive accident over there late in the going when his brakes failed heading into turn number 1, and yeah, the car hit a dirt embankment, and Foyt was in a lot of pain at that time. That was September of 1990. So, heading to turn 1 here. I think it's like 16 corners is the course. If I'm wrong, someone on YouTube will correct me. This is YouTube after all, so of course. Got a little video screen up there so the drivers can see where everybody else is on the course if they decide they want to look for a brief second. And these drivers have good reaction time. They can always just glance very quickly here. A lot of NTT IndyCar Series signage, as you would expect. 200 and then 100, and then we have the turn-in point. We're right now in the middle of the track, primarily because we want to make sure we don't get run over by a golf cart coming in on the right-hand side here. But I believe the drivers are told they must stay to the right of this dotted line right here. So, here we are. We're getting ready to come through turn 1 here. Of course, we have that gravel trap right there. And that's where, that turn is where Connor Daly had his issue here at Road America back in 2016. Okay, we're going to turn around here just briefly. Yeah, a little bit of elevation, but the elevation's really towards the beginning of the straightaway here. All right, so we're going to head down here to turn number 1. And we look at the entrance and exit curbing here. A little bit of undulation here on the surface. All right, so we have the curbing right here to our right. It's a little, 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 a Get real up there next to it a little bit. It's a little uneven, just walking on it right here. You can feel it near the end. It's just a little bumpy here and there. Got the Pabst Racing crew right there. Team owner Augie Pabst. Good. And some more of the Pabst Racing crew right there. I think a couple of the drivers were on the second one. I think Augie was on the first one here. Alright, so this is turn 1. There's the gravel trap over there. We're going to head out to the outside here. The drivers also use this as like their exit curbing. Now we're going to get down close to the surface here so you can see it. You got a little bit of bumpiness to it. And it's like that all the way through here. Just walking on it right here. You can tell just by maybe my speech pattern, or maybe it's just how I'm walking, but it is decently bumpy. It's letting the drivers know that this is where the edge of the track ultimately is. Alright, now I'm going to pause it right here. We're going to resume at turn 3 down at the bottom of the hill. Alright, we're going to turn it back on here a little earlier. We are in technically turn 2, but the main reason why I'm turning it on right now is for a couple of reasons. One, you're seeing a lot of WeatherTech signage around here, which is pretty cool. They actually sponsor Ed Jones's entry with Ed Carpenter Racing and Hunter-Reay Corsa with that partnership. Hunter-Reay Corsa, of course, being a GT Daytona team in the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. But also, if we turn around here, we've gone down quite a bit in elevation since turn number 1. So we're going to turn back around here. Coming up here is turn number 3. That's the numbering convention here at Road America. Because I don't really see that much of an apex for turn 2, so to speak. But this is turn number 3. And turn 4 is usually cited as like a marshal's post, like in the middle of the straightaway coming up. And 5 is the hairpin. So once we get through this corner, we're going to turn off the camera until we get to turn number 5 or so. This corner right here coming up is critical because it sets up our run down a very long straightaway, and that can definitely affect your lap time. If you get a good run off of this corner, you can make up some good time on your competitors. So, coming out of turn number 3, it's an interesting corner because that's where Alan Jr. and Michael Andretti had their coming together in 1995. I remember watching that as a kid, and that was pretty upsetting to me as an Alan Jr. fan growing up. He was my favorite driver growing up as a kid down there in Louisiana. So we have someone coming up. That's Jack William Miller on the right-hand side. He was the one waving at us there. He drives for his father's team in the Cooper Tires USF 2000 Championship. Miller Vinatieri Motorsports, which is co-owned by Adam Vinatieri from the Indianapolis Colts and by his father, Dr. Jack Miller. We have a couple of golf carts on the left-hand side over there, so we're going to move to the right. We're going to go through this turn, and then we're going to turn off the camera until we get to turn number 5 here. You can see the curbs. If you look really closely at the curb right there, they are a bit raised towards the edge of each painted stripe, and in the middle as well. We'll get down closer to it so you can see. So you can see that. And so we got, judging by the number on the card, it looks like it's Toby Sowery that's right behind us. So, you see a lot of WeatherTech signage right here. So that's going to obviously still be in place for when IMSA comes here in early August. I'm going to go to the far left-hand side over here now. And then this is the exit curbing coming up of turn number 3. It's very similar to what we just saw over on the driver's right.
Hi, Chris.
Parker Thompson. That is Parker Thompson. Won the first 2 races in the Indy Pro 2000 Championship this year. Obviously driving over that, it's good that Parker was able to experience how bumpy that was right there. Toby Sowery right there. Kind of holding it.
How you doing?
Doing well, man. Doing well. It's Toby Sowery right there. Had a very interesting move over at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on the Freedom 100 with Robert McGinnis. But that was fun. Good guy. All right, so we're going to turn off the camera right here. We do have that little itty-bitty curve right there underneath that bridge, but we need to get going to turn number 5 here because we don't have that 100% of the time left for the track walk. So we're gonna hot foot it here. All right, so the 500 board up here to the right indicates that we are coming up on turn number 5. So I'll start recording again right here. Now, we're coming up on the right-hand side right here is where that Savage Challenge Car Racing Vintage Ferrari Challenge incident took place a few years ago. That was the incident where that one of the Ferrari Challenge cars ended up hitting another and then ended up getting up in the air and tore out a lot of fencing over here to the right. Used to actually be involved with that championship back in 2013, 2014. So yeah, that was interesting to see that video clip on YouTube. Driver that was airborne was fine, by the way. Yeah. I spent some time in the hospital, but I mean he's all right now. Anyway, so we're coming down to turn number 5, and another thing to look at here as we turn around to see who's coming up at us here. Elevation as well. Don't know who that was, but there's a little bit of elevation coming down here through turn 5. And we'll take another look back on the way up towards 4. And I think for this one we're going to stay through turn 6. Because if you look over there, you'll see the rise up to turn 6. There's a lot of elevation change. So we're going to stay on board recording. So turn 5, this is a prime passing opportunity here. Staying all the way on driver's right as we are on the racing line. Maybe a little bit of rubber laid down earlier because I believe there was like a smaller session for one of the support series earlier today. So we're going to come up on the curbs here. We're going to walk on them. And there's the 100 marker. Alright, so here we are with the curbs, exactly the same as we saw in turns 1 and 3. So I don't need to get down to highlight their severity, although I will turn around so you can actually see it looks a little bit more severe coming down to 5. So yeah, I will get down a little bit. But you can definitely see the shadows, just show how massive those curbs are. In fact, I'm going to walk on them again here. Yeah, you can definitely tell the undulation in my steps here. It's pretty massive here. And don't get too far out because this thing will tear up the underside of your car, especially with how low Indy cars are nowadays. That's not good. Going through these tires over here, going through the left and then right, that area over there is the paddock actually. So you can actually take a quick escape route on the way back after a race is done. Alright, so here's the apex of turn 5 with the secondary curbing over here. A little bit more undulation. Yeah. Some Yamaha signs. There's WeatherTech over there. I actually bought some WeatherTech floor mats earlier this year, so yeah, decent. Just a little bit of debris. Kick that out of there. Some tires right over here. Some tires out there lining up the sand trap out there. Alright, so we're going to keep walking. Now up there is turn 6. I believe that is where Cristiano D'Amata had his incident with the deer all those years ago. So yeah, I think it's what Craig Hampson said in his Dinner with Racers episodes, that that's where it was. So we're going to stay through on this through turn 6. We're going to pause it, go through turn 7, pause it, and then yeah, off and on through the rest of the lap. So as you can tell right here, there's Renus VK. Won some Indy Lights races earlier this year. So we are going uphill a little bit here, walking backwards. We're going to turn around here, and once we get to the top of there, we're gonna see how much the elevation does go up actually. So so this is a heavy hike up here. Although the biggest elevation change going uphill probably would have to be the start-finish straight. Okay, so and this is where you want to have all that engine power going uphill. I'm starting to get a little winded myself. Remind me to get in better shape, y'all. Alright, we're almost there. We're going to turn around just a little bit here so you can see how far the elevation is. And we're going to head on back. There's Chevrolet logos all over. There's a Corvette bridge. Alright, still have not hit the top yet. While we were on hiatus there, we saw Bobby Rahal and Takuma Sato drive past on golf carts. Alright, so got the bridge right here. This was a bit of a calamity corner for USF 2000 last year. Alright, so here's turn 6. Rev Vehicles for Life. Rev Group is the title sponsor of this race. Placing Kohler. Alright, so here's turn 6. Oh, looking down there, you can barely see turn 5. Just barely. Yeah. Alright, so we need to keep going because we don't necessarily have a lot of time to stand around. So there's turn 6. Small amount of runoff right there. Still going. Alright, so this is turn 6. Alright, we'll pause it right here. We'll start it into that little straightaway. Alright, here we are at turn 7. WeatherTech signage over here to the right. Some Pepsi and Mountain Dew signage on the left. There's some tires behind a small sand trap. So we're going to go through turn 7 right here. Curbing similar to what we saw a few turns earlier. Once we get out of this one, we're going to take another break until we get to the next turn right there, turn 8. And we'll take another break to the carousel. And yeah. Let's see who's coming at us on these golf carts. I don't exactly know who that was. And over there, I don't know who they are. So, yeah. Alright, break time. Alright, here we are with our next corner. This would be turn 8. WeatherTech signage right there. Had some elevation behind us. We'll turn around in a second here. Got Jay Howard with Christian Bogle and Christian Rasmussen right there. They're in USF 2000. Wrote about Jay's team for Westfield Magazine, actually. So we're going to turn around here. Yeah, bit of an elevation drop off from turn 7. So we're going to come here to turn 8. As you can tell by the pavement right here, a little bit of undulation. We're going to look back here a little bit. Right down close. Yeah. I'm good, thanks though. No, I didn't.
Okay. Have me see one.
Will do. Yeah, apparently the guy right there lost his phone. Oh, it happens. So coming through turn 8 right here, curbing. Doesn't feel that bad, this curbing. Similar layout to the other turns right there. Small amount of pay runoff right there. Gravel trap way over there. Coming through 8. Alright. And tell you what, since this short straightaway is so short, we're going to go ahead and just stay on board here because that coming up is the carousel, which is probably one of the more fun corners on this track to drive in iRacing. I've never actually driven this track before. Alright, so Speedville and colorful engineering. Cool. And I got some tires over here. I think some of those were placed there after what happened in the IMSA race last year. Andy Lally in the GT Daytona class for Magnus Racing had a bit of a spin after some contact in the last lap and went into the wall there. So yeah, I think that might be why they placed them there. If they weren't there last year, I assume. If they were there last year, then hey, good on them for having the tires there. We have another golf cart approaching us here. Crossover to drivers right here. So this is the carousel. Hey, Echo. All right. All right, here's the carousel. A long, sweeping right-hander. We get out of there, we're going to wait. We're going to get out of there and pause to the kink. After the kink, we're just going to walk on the Canada corner, even though the track does have a bit of a curve to it. Let's face it, we're not going to want to stay on for that entire time anyway. So as you can see, it's a long corner. All the people that are just going to be back there on race day, just watching through the trees. A massive campground over here to the right. Basically, the entire infield is a campground. That's cool. You got the old IRL logo. You got the Champ Car flag. You got the outside IndyCar Series flag. That's nice. All right, so back to the track here. No curbing on the inside. A little bit of cut grass, some exposed dirt right there. Get right up close to the edge there. Of course, with the sand trap being right there, any mistakes are punished here at Road America. A lot of drivers like this track because of that, because you have to be perfect around the entire lap, you know. So, yeah, that's that. We have not that far to go in the carousel, but let's just turn around here. Show you that's where we were just a few minutes ago. Oh, that's a nice car right over there. I'm not going to zoom in on because I don't want to keep going in and out for people. I figured they're having enough trouble just keeping up with how fast I'm moving the camera in the first place. Alright, so by the way, I know you're probably not going to be watching this all in one go. If you're watching in bits and pieces, hey, I congratulate you. I thank you for coming on board to watch this video. I do appreciate it again. Thank you. Mid-Ohio is probably going to be the longest video of the year because of how tight and twisty that track is. So, yeah. We're almost out of the carousel. If you notice, it looks like it's slightly downhill. Yeah, it looks like we got a slight drop through here. So, yeah, we're just still going through the carousel. Long corner. Seems to never end, you know? Another corner where you want to have a real good grip because this launches you down the back chute of the course where Kanan and Rossi had that little coming together. I want to say it was 2017 that they had that. And then back in, I think it was 2006, Catherine Lake had a massive incident over exiting the kink, if I remember right. So once we get out of here, we're going to pause it until we get to the kink. But we do have some curbing right here, unpainted, and then painted. Style very similar to earlier, and we're finally coming out of the carousel right up here. Another Marshall post over there. Marshall post 10. Alright. Some more WeatherTech signage. Alright, we're going to go over the exit curbs over here, then we're going to turn the camera off until the kink over there. Alright. Crossing over to the driver's left. This curbing is not very pronounced. In fact, if you actually look down, not very pronounced at all. Kind of curbing light. We're going to pause it and come back in a little bit. Alright, so here we are at the kink. Over here to our left, let me zoom out. Not sure how that zoomed in. Is a track that the motorcycle riders take for AMA, or I think it's called Moto America now. Yeah, they take that track over there because the kink right there is extremely dangerous. You go offline on a motorcycle like that, and you ain't gonna look pretty. So, kink right here is a very, very high commitment corner. Got the entrance curbs right here. A bit pronounced, not to the level that we saw a little earlier in the lap, but pronounced nonetheless. Wow, look at all the elevation change up there in the infield. That's a lot. Alright, so you look, it's very, very blind. You don't know what's on the exit of this corner. We had an issue here last year with one of the IMSA support races, if I remember right. Alright, so here we are coming through the kink. And once we are through the kink, we're gonna pause it until we get to Canada Corner, which is aptly named because it is the closest corner to the country of Canada. The northernmost country corner on the circuit. Ooh, that's interesting. I did not know. Apparently they put is that safer barrier right there? Because it surely looks like it. It really does. Let's walk over here and look. Oh well, I'll be. They put safer barrier all through here. Now this is cool. Kudos to, I'm not sure when this was all done, but yeah, this is all safer barrier over here. Well done. Yeah, that's actually a really good move. Well done, Road America, for that. Very well done. Very, very, very well done. There's the kink right there. Coming out. Here's your exit curb. We're going to go through the exit curb and then we're going to just pause it. I know we have that little curve right there in the straightaway, but we need to keep moving here because I know we're going a little bit slower than walking pace when we're walking with the camera here. If you notice, we got a little bit of extra curbing on the outside. It's fairly pronounced. Get right down to it. Let's move down closer. Yeah. So, all right, we're gonna head on off here until we get to Canada Corner. All right, so here we are at Canada Corner. Ryan Hunter-Reay just passed us up in his golf cart. It's a very fashionable golf cart, I might add. We got some AMR signage right here, and I mentioned liking Allington Jr. earlier. Allington Jr.'s IndyCar race in 1996 came to an end right at this corner on the last lap of the race when his engine failed. I cried when I saw that as a kid because the last race he had won before then was Vancouver 1995. Yeah, not exactly ideal. But yeah, Canada Corner, this is basically the last, one of the last opportunities for overtaking on the circuit, other than the last corner, but you got to have a really good run heading to the last corner. So, we have this corner, we have a left-hander, a small right kink, and then the final corner for the start-finish straight. So, here's Canada Corner. There is a small asphalt runoff and then a gravel trap behind there. And at the edge we have tires. Alright, there's Simon Pagenaud, Indy 500 champion from 2019. I'm going to come over here to the inside. Alright. Curbing, not quite as pronounced as we may have seen at like turn 5, but it's still pretty pronounced, I think. Let's walk on it here. Yeah, it's decently pronounced, actually. Well, got the interior curb right there, like it always is. Yeah, it's pronounced. Alright, so we're going to keep moving here pretty quickly. There's a official vehicle right there. Yep. There's asphalt runoff on the edge right there with some tires. Alright, so we're going to keep going here. We've got a little bit of elevation that we've gone up. Not that much, but we have a lot more to go here. Last year when the BMW ran out in GTLM at the IMSA race here, it ran out of fuel right around here. And it's basically almost all uphill from here to the start-finish line. There's one of the curbs here on the right. So we have this little left-hander right here, a small right kink, and then the final corner, which David Malukas knows all too well about. In 2017, in the second USF 2000 race here, he was running second place on the last lap, and in the last corner he spun. It was a hell of a weekend for him, actually. It's kind of like a coming out party in America for him. He had raced, I think, in German and Italian F4 before then. He ended up winning both races here last year in Indy Pro 2000. So yeah, he knows the place pretty well. He's driving in Indy Lights this year for BN Racing. All right, we're gonna cross over here to driver's left. All right, so all right, this left-hander right here, not very pronounced for curbs, but a lot of grass over there on the right. Curves are kind of pronounced, but not that far. All right, so I'm gonna pause it right here. We're gonna take it up at the last corner. All right, so you see right there a sign. It says Alt SF. I believe this might be the timing and scoring line for IndyCar qualifying, because on road and street courses they like to use a timing line before the pits, so drivers can go immediately into the pits right there. All right, so we see some cars heading to the false grid, which means that we have a practice session starting soon. So we're gonna hurry up and get done with this. This is the final corner right here. Relatively flat. Did see quite a bit of elevation over there. We're gonna go up through the pit entrance. All right, so here we go. All right, so we were told to get off the track. So we're walking up through here. That's clear, but if you look, we're gonna zoom in. That right there is the large hill getting up to start finish straight. Just past the NTT logo and the Chevrolet logo, that's where we have the start finish line. So past that, that bridge not all the way across up the hill. You have to go a little bit further than that to get to the start finish line. That's going to be the end of our track walk. Wish it could have gotten done quicker, but it is what it is. See y'all later.